Inspired by the game Monopoly, the studio collaborated to create a town based on the board game and the capitalistic society it represents. The town was formed as a critique of this capitalistic society and the various economic and social injustices that come with it, just as the original game was critiquing the economic world of the Great Depression. Since the goal of the game is to remain financially stable while trying to bankrupt others, the class system plays a prominent role in how the game and society function. While collaborating to build the town, design choices were based on the rules, structure, and intention behind the game of Monopoly and the perception of society and its functions. Decisions were made on what elements make up a town and a functioning society by looking at what spaces were present on the Monopoly board and what was missing. Gaps in representation, such as public spaces, social services, and government, were recognized and sought to address these missing features in the designs. Decisions regarding the layout of the town were guided by the way that social classes and economic statuses were set up on the Monopoly board, beginning with the lowest value property and increasing in value as one moves around the board. The zoning present in the society also impacted the layout of the town by isolating certain elements from one another, such as how healthcare and private academia are located near the upper class and not the lower class. To model the various elements that make up a town, each structure was designed to abstractly represent the role that element plays in society. Randomly drawing out of a hat determined which aspect of the town each person would be designing, and began the design process by researching assigned elements and creating multiple drawings and physical iterations of designs. Abstract designing shifted to adjusting the models about the human scale. Shifting scale was important not only so models could be proportionate to one another, but also because it prompted us to consider how individuals would interact with each structure and the board as a whole. Other adjustments were made to the models after a grid was established throughout the Monopoly board and decided to demonstrate hierarchy by assigning various height ranges to each aspect of the town. The hierarchy demonstrates which aspects of the town have the most influence over society, where the tallest structures, such as government, healthcare, and finance, are viewed as being the most influential. Other aspects of the design process related to zoning include the decisions made regarding the size of the Monopoly board and each Monopoly square. Whether or not each structure could extend beyond the implicit border of its Monopoly square was discussed between the designers of the neighboring structures. The center of the Monopoly board was viewed as analogous to a town center, which connects all the elements of a town and represents the community. Rather than designing a town center, the studio created a maze to display the town's connection and how it functions as a whole. The maze was designed after a historical multicursal maze, which is a complex maze with multiple paths that branch off and lead toward the center, but most of which lead to dead ends. This maze type let us determine which elements of the town received entrances connecting to the rest of the town, representing a view of the public accessibility of each component. For example, entrances weren't granted to the utilities and industry structures since they lack public accessibility in the society, and private academia can only be reached by being a member of the upper class. The circular center of the maze represents unity within the town and creates a space to place a statue of the Monopoly Man in order to draw attention to what the project drew inspiration from.